Hello all. Lately, I have been receiving requests from people who are basically asking me that it is clearly evident that the SDV revolution will happen and there is a fundamental shift happening in the automotive space. So, how do we upskill? Okay. So, based on my experience in the SDV domain for more than almost 5 years or so, I basically feel that I can basically share my experiences with respect to how I see the upskilling roadmap should be, so that any person can upskill himself from his current role in the automotive space to a SDV based role in the automotive space. Okay, I am basically speaking from the point of an automotive developer. So let's get into the video. So it is clearly evident that the system is shifting from a distributed architecture to a zonal architecture. So in distributed architecture, the complexity was there, but a different kind of complexity was there, and now as the transition is happening into a centralized architecture and all, this actually brings in a lot of new skill set or new upskilling requirement, and on top of it there is a fierce competition even for the existing suppliers or the existing even OEMs also, with respect to how do they reposition themselves and how do they pivot themselves. So because of which basically what is happening is few companies they are doing heavy amount of layoffs of their employees so that they can restructure themselves. This doesn't mean that the companies will go bankrupt and all. The companies over a period of time will definitely evolve. The companies which don't evolve eventually will be bankrupt, but I personally don't feel that the companies will go bankrupt or whatever it is. Companies will evolve for sure. So it depends on us with respect to whether we are evolving as per the requirement of the market. The reason why I am saying is automotive space is not a small space, and even the requirement for automotive is not going to go like suddenly. People will not go back to horse carriages, or people will not start driving cycles. That is anyways not going to happen. So vehicles will exist, and on top of it, if at all you see the automotive space is almost a $2.75 trillion economy, covering from passenger vehicles to electric vehicles and everything, aftermarket, and lot of countries are in a way dependent on automotive space with respect to their economy, say Germany or Japan, because automotive is one of the space where there is a huge requirement of means it basically generates a lot of employment. So keeping these things in mind, the chance of companies going bankrupt or something crazy happening, I don't see that. Companies will be there, and they are restructuring in such a way that they can stay competitive. So it is on us with respect to how we upskill. So that's all this video is about. Okay, now if at all we actually focus in the automotive space, as of now there is a huge skill gap, and there is a lot of discussions going on. There are a lot of what to say, like some career progression, how we have to see. So all those things are happening, because of which it is leading to a lot of confusion. Okay, now if at all you see the fundamental way on the transition with respect to the traditional architecture to an SDV zonal architecture or whatever it is, people are not talking about a new programming language, or people are not talking about a new technology or whatever it is. Basically what discussions are going on is, there are few technologies which are out there in the cloud space or maybe somewhere else, which basically will be adopted for the automotive requirement. So this is what the discussions are all about. Okay, so if at all you see closely, these topics, say the software architecture, or say new programming language like Rust, or container technologies like Docker or Kubernetes, cloud, RTOS or QNX, Linux, firmware, AI, all these topics are already pre-existing topics, and the expectation that you even have to code in a good standard. Even you have a lot of platforms like LeetCode and all, which are available out there, which can help you in your learning journey. Okay, so when that is there, instead of kind of being in a confused state, it is better to figure out what is your domain and how is your domain evolving, so that you can go through the or upskill in that particular relevant space, so that you can stay competitive, because all the resources to learn whatever technology is already out there. It is well documented. There are good number of tutorials, good number of projects which you can do, good number of videos you can listen from and all. So I don't see any issue over there. The issue is we need to categorize where are we and what are the adjacent technology, what are the adjacent development in each of this field, in each of this layer which is happening, and if at all we upskill in that particular direction, things will work out so that we can stay competitive. So this is my analysis. So based on this particular analysis, what I have done is, whatever I will be discussing now is out of my own experience, and I put a very heavy disclaimer over here. So whatever I am putting over here is my own view, and whatever I am saying, there might be things even beyond this which I might not have covered in this video. Okay, so please understand that, and based on that do your judgment, whatever you want to. So now if at all we get into the topic, I basically have categorized it into two parts. One is the car, okay, the vehicle which is on board. Okay, the one in this particular color, they are the on-board layers which I have categorized, and one is the cloud, which is the off-board system, okay, which are in blue. Now in this particular classification, I have segregated it into 4 layers. So one is the SoC layer, on top of it is the base software, on top of it is the middleware, and on top of it is the application layer. Okay, so when we speak with respect to SoC, what I am speaking about here is the core processors which are coming out from the semiconductor companies, like Snapdragon processors from Qualcomm, okay, or maybe some SoCs from Nvidia, maybe over in Thor or whatever it is, okay, or the fundamental operating systems like QNX, okay, or any operating system maybe from Red Hat, whatever it is, okay. So this is with respect to that layer. And the second layer which is on top of it is, so you have an SoC or you have an operating system which is designed by these semiconductor companies or the technology companies, definitely by taking inputs from the automotive suppliers, automotive OEMs, etc., etc. A board is built around it, that particular SoC, and you basically write your drivers and all regard over the peripherals, or you flash AutoSAR on top of it and you basically use, or whatever it is. So this is the base software which is well known in the automotive space, okay. And on top of it, basically we are talking about the middleware. So in the middleware, what we are speaking is with respect to the protocols, some IP, DDS, okay, or we might be even speaking about some of the cloud technologies like orchestrators or container runtimes, okay, or we might be even speaking with respect to the AI fundamental protocol layer like MCP, model context protocol, whatever it is, and on top of it is the application layer. In the application layer, we are speaking with respect to V2X technologies, over there updates, infotainments, etc., etc., okay. And you basically have your fundamental applications, something in those lines, okay. So this is with respect to the onboard scenario, and I am mostly covering, I have categorized this based on the QM, SLA and SLB, because these 3 functionalities, so these 3 SL ratings are the ones which will be affected during the very first iteration of this SDV, okay. And with respect to the cloud part, I am not talking with respect to the traditional cloud of the basic solution architect or the security analyst certifications. I am not speaking with respect to that. I am speaking with respect to the automotive context, okay. So we are basically talking about verification and validation in cloud, CI/CD pipelines, etc., virtual ECUs, NVIDIA Omniverse type of tools for generation of autonomous driving use cases scenarios, okay. And in the application layer, basically what I am speaking over here is with respect to tracking some of the automotive specific parameters, making sense of it, and building on top of it and doing analysis on top of it. Okay, so with this classification being clear, now let's get into the actual part. So this is how I have categorized it. Okay, now if at all you are in the SOC level, like if at all you want to, if you are in the SOC level, or if you want to get into the SOC level, so which basically will be heavily driven by the semiconductor companies or the software giants, something like maybe Google with their own Android operating system, or maybe from QNX, from BlackBerry with respect to QNX, or whatever it is. Okay, so if at all you have to be in this particular layer, or if you are in this layer, I would suggest that you need to have a very good knowledge on C. You need to have extremely good knowledge on the OS concepts, both for general purpose operating system and the real time operating system. You need to be good with respect to the hardware architecture. You need have to write your own drivers, supporting packages, protocols. You need to be good at. You need to be good at with respect to writing some parts of the operating system, or you might even have to kind of creation of the hypervisors, because you have to make sure that the hypervisor satisfy the ISO 26262 safety certification and other things. Okay, now if at all you come to the base software, so this is the layer basically where we already where the OEMs, the suppliers and the semiconductor companies, they actually participate heavily. Now in this particular thing, still you need to be good at C. You need to have deep OS concepts. You need to be, like, if at all you are an AutoSAR guy, okay, and you see that AutoSAR might not be adding much of a value, means that might not be much of a differentiator, but you still would like to continue in the automotive based software, then maybe apart from AutoSAR you might have to work with respect to polishing your OS concepts, or working more on some of the new protocols which are coming up, or configuration of the hypervisor, and you might have to have some hands-on experience with respect to BSP. Maybe these things will happen, maybe these things will help you out. So if at all you do in those lines, if at all you think in those lines, you can get the relevant details or relevant videos which you have to pick, which you can basically learn, and that will make you SDV ready. So that is the whole idea. Now say you are a middleware guy. When you basically speak with respect to middleware, earlier in the automotive middleware, mostly we were not having much with respect to the cloud concepts and all, but here is where you will basically get those concepts. And they knew like a programming language like Rust might also be prevalent in this. So if at all you are a C++ developer already in middleware, maybe learning Rust might help you out. And previously you might not be that good at operating system, so you need to be good. You need not have an extremely deep knowledge with respect to OS, unlike the below layers, but having OS knowledge is very much important. And similarly, you might have to design something like a service oriented architecture, which is actually coming up. So learning SOA will help you out, or creation of the orchestrator, or integration of the orchestrator into the system, or integration of the container runtime into the system. Learning about messaging brokers like Mosquito MQTT or Kuxa, this might help you out. And similarly, integration of MCP will also help you out. So if you are in this layer, maybe learning these technologies might help you. Maybe technologies beyond this also will help you out, which I might not have added over here. Okay, now say you are in the application layer. Now some of the new programming languages like Kotlin is actually coming up well. Okay, and apart from that, you still will be needing OS concept even over here, because we are discussing with respect to HPCs and all, and having good OTA knowledge, or having with respect to creation of AI use cases, or having some knowledge with respect to containers, because there might be container based OTA which is coming up. Okay, so if at all you basically work into this particular, if you are an application developer in automotive, maybe learning any of these skills, or maybe skills which I have not put over here, maybe beyond, will help you out, and these might be the companies which you can target. Okay, and if at all, so this is basically the vehicle part. And once you come to cloud part, okay, now if at all, as I spoke earlier, if we start our journey in cloud right now, we in few months time, we really cannot outpace, or we cannot even match the guy who is working in cloud for the past 10 years, who is a solution architect or whatever it is. That will not work out. Okay, So the realistic thing which we can actually do is we can learn the cloud technologies, but which is in line with the automotive use cases. Automotive use case in the sense like how do you use a virtual ECU which is provided by maybe Synopsys or which is provided by Siemens, okay, and how do you kind of flash it with AutoSAR, and once you do it, how do you connect multiple virtual ECUs on the cloud so that you can actually bring up a system over there, and how do you integrate this particular virtual ECU system and with the CI/CD pipeline so that you can basically run your test cases over there, conduct many kind of SIL testing, mill testing, or whatever it is on top of it, okay. So these will be some of the niche skills, if at all you learn in the V&V space in cloud, that will help you out, because there you can actually outshine the guy who is already a pure cloud guy, because you are learning something which is specific to automotive. And on top of it, you can even try learning some tools like NVIDIA Omniverse. Basically in NVIDIA Omniverse, what you can do is you can create scenarios, create data sets of the autonomous driving, or create auto labeling mechanisms. So all of this will actually help you out with respect to the V&V scenarios, okay. And say you are in the application level, okay. When you are in the application level, so you will be getting fleet data, or you can basically do predictive maintenance. But as you are a developer, as you are an automotive developer in the automotive context, you can basically pinpoint at a particular signal, saying that this is a signal which is very important, which has to be monitored over a period of time for knowing the behavior or knowing the health of the system. Say, I mean, like what I'm trying to say is, say you are a model based developer. You are a model based developer for the past 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is, for maybe steering system or braking system or whatever it is, okay, and you have to do a predictive maintenance on this particular system. So as you are the owner of this particular system, who is well versed in this, you can basically pick the signals from the vehicle which you want it to be there in the cloud, and you can do a better analysis than a person who is a typical data scientist over there, because you are bringing in your domain expertise which the other guy will not have, okay. So that is one particular layer which might be of interest, like that might be one way of upskilling which you can do. So when you come for a connected vehicle, so the market domain will not be limited only to suppliers, OEMs or semiconductors. It will go even beyond, like many different kinds of applications and all these things, okay. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is what is to be learnt has to be figured out by every individual. Once they have figured out regarding what they have to learn, how that learning should happen is not a problem, because all of these are existing technologies which are very well documented. So you can go take any course and you can kit up and you can do, and you can be good at it. This will because we are not speaking about something a radical new technology coming in. We are basically trying to incorporate the existing technologies into automotive space. That's what we are trying to do over here in this SDV, okay. So as I said, if we summarize everything, so it is on every individual with respect to how they assess their skills and their gaps and figure out their own learning pathway. This will be different for everyone. For everyone it will be personalized. Learn and train based on whatever you have planned, and applying in practice, seeing it in the actual real context with respect to how you can apply it. And once you do, you evaluate and you repeat the cycle again and again. So if at all anyone focuses in this direction, I think that will be very helpful for them, because this particular journey which everyone is trying to transition is a personal one. So my journey might not fit you, or your journey might not fit the guy who's sitting next to you. So yeah, this is what my analysis is, and whatever I have discussed, some of the links and all, I have put it in this reference link chat, and I will be pasting this particular PPT link also in the description of the video. Please do have a look, and thanks a lot guys. Thanks for your time, and have a very nice day. Thank you. Bye.